Guys, I hope you're doing well. We're here to talk about the first myth out of 3 that we're going to kind of uncover. And we call them myths because it's not that they're completely wrong or incorrect. We don't want to, we've talked before many times how we appreciate every coach we've ever had because we've been coaches ourselves. We know what a labor of love it is and that coaches are trying to help. But the first one that we've often heard a lot of people say, a lot of parents especially too that you hear, I hear in the stands, Johnny, get your back elbow up, get your back elbow up. And it's not that it's completely wrong, like I said, it's just that it seems to be like a staple of where coaches want to go with the swing, to keep that back elbow up. And I've kind of researched like maybe where it's come, and I'll just say really quickly that we've talked that maybe it has come about just to try and help kids stay on top of the ball and get through it and hit line drives, that sort of thing, and not go up and loopy under it, you know, like a back elbow under it, not scoop. I've also read some things about trying to get more bat speed with getting that slot going, which we'll talk about later. And so there's some things there, but we've also seen that starting with that back elbow up can cause some unintended harm, right? Can kind of sometimes lead kids a little bit further down a path that can hurt more than help. So how does that happen? Where can it get in trouble if you start with this back elbow way up?
It can start you to get to where, first off, you don't get the barrel directly to the ball, which is what we want. We want them to stay on plane, as we call it, but a simpler way for the kids might be just take the barrel right to the ball. If your back elbow is up, a lot of times your grip is too far in the palm of your top hand.
Yes.
And that can cause problems. I know there are major league players like Nelson Cruz. He can do that. He has his way over years of practice that he has done that. But for a young kid starting, I don't think it's beneficial to start with a back elbow up somewhere in this area.
And this camera can see it from here. You saw that palm, that thing, those hands can tend to come like way around, right? Like they over rotate to where then you get like, instead of like the kind of knuckles lined up, which we can talk about later at some point, but this comes way this way. So then what happens?
From here, to try to get to the ball from here, that would be, if you're staying in the same grip, it's almost too tough to get it without changing your hands and moving them.
Right, it's only you have to slide as you swing, which is complex.
So in other words, what I like to start with, to kind of start about, instead of just saying just back, I want to get them in their good stance and show them where to go.
Let's do that.
So the first thing I would do is, I can lay it in the middle of the plate. I like my front foot in the middle of the plate to start with. So I just set that bat
right where this
right
kind of
on
angle
the edge,
is here,
outside
on the plate.
corner, and then take my front foot, even with that, knob of the bat right there, and then I get on what I call a skateboard. Somewhere that's wider in your shoulders, you feel like you can stand on a skateboard, and there's going to be times you might have to explain to a kid what is a skateboard, because some don't do it. They might be on technology a lot. So we might need to tell them what a skateboard is and how it works. And so once I get that, then I lift the bat up, lay it in my fingers somewhere that's comfortable for you, bring it to the shoulder, right here on the back shoulder. And for me, mine is my top knuckles are in between.
Okay, yeah. Hopefully this
my
can
other
see
knuckles
that,
right
this
here.
camera. But he said, and I'll kind of come to this camera too if you want to scoot around, those knuckles, which we call the knocking knuckles, if you're going to knock on a door, are in between his top one and his middle one here. That's what's comfortable from him. So what's the range there that you would recommend?
Anywhere from here, which I know a lot of people like because they feel like they can get palm up, palm down, which we'll talk about in a little bit, easier. But you can still get from here. Even some guys get your knocking knuckles
lined up with the,
the hard big knuckles, I guess you call them.
Punching knuckles.
Punching, there you go, thank you. So that would be those from here to here. You go
Somewhere
farther than that, it's really tough to get this barrel to the ball efficiently.
Traeger tends to come this way a lot. It's just where he's comfortable. And he kind of has the back up because it's a little bit more comfortable. And I've noticed, like, if he holds on to it, like, it's even hard. I mean, but you kind of almost sometimes get a little hump in the swing. It's just really hard to keep that on, like you said, the barrel on plane to be palm up, palm down. I'll give it back to you. So what's next?
So also there's a second variation.
Okay.
Some can lay it here. That might be far away for some kids. Some kids, depending upon how tall they are and their arm length, they might just want to reach for that outside corner right there and tap it. And that might feel more comfortable for them where they can still reach the outside part and not feel like it's going to be too much on the inside corner.
does the barrel sometimes come, or not the barrel, does the elbow, the rear elbow, back elbow, sometimes come up during the load?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Absolutely. And everybody's different on how they get to their strong, as I call, power position.
Yours even came up a little bit, and that's perfect, right?
Some will come up a little more,
Yep.
some will stay down here. It's
Yeah.
a comfort level as long as you keep the grip from here lined up to somewhere here in that range. If you can keep that grip where you like it, if somebody's here and they get here,
Yes.
that's fine.
Perfect. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure and throw that in because I didn't want anyone to hear us saying that that elbow should kind of stay down and tuck the whole time, even through the load, because I know that if you look at so many swings, that back elbow does tend to come up during the load because they're not loading just with their hands. They're loading with their core and their shoulders, which is important. And if you're doing that, that back elbow will tend to move a little bit. So that's all good. We're just kind of back to the beginning saying that if you have your kids so focused on back elbow up, it kind of takes all their attention back here, and there's probably a lot of times just a better place to have attention, which is like the pitch coming in and hitting it hard and going back to being comfortable. I'm comfortable, I don't have to think about anything. When the back elbow's way up, they're really comfortable. It's just they're thinking about their back elbow. I love where you have kids start. I love that little kind of recipe for a good place to start and then having variants within it. Any last thing you'd like to say? I mean, we kind of got it there. Hope that that makes sense, coaches and parents and even students and kids and players watching. We're for you and it's all good, but start comfortable. And we'll see in the next lesson, we're going to talk about the second myth, which is to swing down at the ball, to stay on top of the ball. And that's a good discussion too that could last long, but we'll just do very similar, talk about maybe why that came to be and where sometimes it can lead you a little bit astray. Thanks, Coach. Thank you guys. We'll see you in the next one.